Spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the movie, click off. I really like the Among Us reference in this movie.
The Among Us reference?
Yeah. When they had to go to the living thing where they had the break-in with the suit, they had the colored suits. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Seeing Nathan Fillion in this movie was a surprise.
Yeah, when I saw him, I was like,
I looked at it, I was like, is that Nathan Fillion? I know it's not who I think it is. I was like, what? Like, what's he doing in here? Now, I thought the jokes that he I thought that, like I said, it's not just movie were funny, but they
were funny.
It is a lot of pathos, like, where you have a serious moment, but then it's interrupted by humor. They had that in the first Guardians when they were all standing in the circle, and they were like, "Oh, we're all standing." You remember that? The first Guardians?
First one?
Yeah. Okay. They were sitting in the circle. That's when Rocket was like, "Oh, well, I don't have that long of a lifespan anyway."
I thought that was the end of the second one. Because when they all standing and Yondu was... No, it couldn't have been
It had to be the first one, because it was right before they went to go fight the cute Ronin.
So when they were all standing, there were like explosions and stuff, right?
No. I'm talking about when they were singing the ship and they were trying to figure out a plan. Because that's when he was like, I have part of a plan. What percentage?
Okay,
It was after that, because he was like, I know life tastes more like a lot more than it gives, but not today. Together, it's giving us a chance.
Yeah.
That was when they like first like, we're going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a lot of that in this movie, and I feel like the series, here's what I'll say. The jokes don't necessarily take from the serious moment, but sometimes the serious moment has so much stuff going on that the joke kind of flies over your head. I can't remember which part, but it was a part where Mantis said a joke. And I was like, there was so much previous stuff that happened previous in this scene, and and the stuff that just happened. And it's like Mantis says a joke, and I'm just like, oh, right, that's a joke. Because I was like so emotionally wrapped up in what had happened and mentally wrapped up what was happening. And I'm like, oh yeah, she told a joke. And it wasn't like it was a silly joke. It was a funny joke. It's just like there was so much going on where I was just like, oh, right. Oh, it's supposed to be silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, it wasn't a bad joke. But one thing that I'm thinking about now, Mantis says in the beginning when they were like, well, why don't you just make Quill feel better? Mm-hmm. And then she was like, well, I don't do that to my friends.
Yeah.
But then later on in the movie, she just does that thing to Drax to make him forget that they called him stupid. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, so this is going to be something, but they didn't. But there was so much other stuff happening in the movie where that didn't really take away from the movie for me, because all the other things had already been done. Everything had already been paid off. I seen the cool explosions. I seen the story kind of come to conclusion, satisfying ending. And I'll talk about the ending more, but go ahead, though.
I really like what they did with Gamora. Mm-hmm. I really like that at the end they didn't end up back together.
Yeah.
To show that this is not the same Gamora.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was good. And they didn't just go back to how everything was. I do like that they went the separate ways, because Quill needs to go back to Earth. He needs to. Is for Mantis, she hasn't really done what she wanted. She's always been following other people.
Yeah.
Who was Rocket? It does make sense he's leading, because he was already kind of traveling the galaxy anyway.
Yeah.
I definitely think we'll see more of Star-Lord, though, because I wish he would have wore his helmet more.
Yeah.
But
did he wear it in the second one?
I think he did, didn't he? Well, yeah, because remember with Yondu? Didn't he put the helmet on him?
Oh, I don't remember him wearing it.
I remember a lot in the first one. I don't remember.
I know he wore it in the first one.
Yeah.
I know he wore it in Infinity War, but I don't know if he wore it in Volume 2.
Thought he did. Well, we know he had it because in Endgame when he showed up, he had the mask on.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed that Adam Warlock joined the Guardians.
I'm fine with that. They just should have had him fight alongside them earlier. I think it should have been Warlock and Rocket to defeat High Evolutionary, not Gamora, because Gamora has no connection to this guy. Gamora shouldn't deliver the final blow. It should have been Adam Warlock or Rocket. It should have really been Rocket, personally. I think Rocket should have delivered the final blow. I think that would have held more weight. I think Rocket was done great, but with because like Guardians 1, we learned more. We learned about kind of all three of them. Infinity Wars, we learned more about Gamora. Now the third one, we're learning more about Rocket. Rocket's story was cool. Yeah, it was great. But with Warlock, the end of the second one, he's introduced as someone that could be threatening. In the trailers, he's introduced as someone who's threatening. The first 10 minutes when he's introduced, like, oh crap, he just break Nebula's arm or Mantis.
Yeah, I was thinking when he first showed up, I was like, this guy's a menace.
Yeah, I was like, dang, he's breaking,
Yeah.
But then it's like after that, okay, fine, he goes back to the other guy, he throws him against the wall, which is exactly what Kang did to Mordo. But
Mordo?
The High Evolutionary, he pushed Warlock against the wall and he started crushing him. That's what Kang did to Mordo.
MODOK.
MODOK. Yeah, MODOK. Yeah. It is though, right?
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, like when he started doing that,
gravity manipulation.
Yeah.
It's exactly like we said. That Kang basically borrowed from the High Evolutionaries.
Yeah. Because even that power surge thing he did.
that energy blast thing.
I'm not trying to conquer the universe. I'm trying to perfect it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like Conquer if you think about it. I'm trying to perfect the timeline.
Yeah.
Because if I wanted to just rule it, I could.
Yeah.
Trying to perfect it so this doesn't happen.
That's crazy.
But yeah, after that part with the High Evolutionary where he pushed him against the wall, it kind of just became a joke.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's fine. And then after his mom got killed in the explosion,
he was out of the movie.
Yeah, he was out the movie, but then it was like, that should have been his turning point.
Yeah.
That should have been the point where he was like, oh, you just blew up the planet with no remorse? Oh, okay, Yeah. That's when he should have turned. He should have joined the Guardians.
that wasn't enough. That's when he should have put on your little hat.
But yeah, it's like, I think that's the problem I have with Warlock. He's not... Yeah. He's kind of joked throughout the movie at the first 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even really become that much of a menace anymore. It's like he's still threatening, but it's just like, I can't take him seriously. Mm-hmm. They should have had Warlock more funny like Nick Fury. Like, he's funny because he's serious. Yeah. Or had him more funny like, when I see Namor. Like, I can laugh at Namor. Yeah. It's not because he's funny, it's because like, oh crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that's him.
Yeah. I'm him. Who's gonna stop them?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah. What's stopping them from coming back? I will. Oh. Because like even the part when they were even like the part where Gold Girl, I don't remember the race's name. The Gold Girl, she was like
the mom?
Yeah. Where she was
Warlock's mom.
Yeah, Warlock's mom. She was like, oh, tell me where these people went, or we'll show you how it's done or whatever. And she's like, Warlock, show them we mean business. And Warlock like burned him to a crisp. It was like,
yeah, like, oh crap.
Like, but yeah, it was played as a joke. And I was like, it's like you said, like the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, Warlock is that guy. But then he stops being that guy. He did, but then he didn't. Is that from a pitch meeting?
Probably from a pitch meeting.
Okay, that sounds like a pitch meeting. Yeah, I think it is. Joker, just beat him up. Yeah, they gang up on High Evolutionary. What I think was a cool moment.
Yeah.
But I think it's like you said, if Warlock would have been there, it would have been cool. It's cool that they had Gamora because it's like this is the Guardians as we knew them.
Yeah.
One last time fighting the bad guys. Yeah. Teaming up one last time.
Just like that hallway fight scene.
Yeah. And yeah, I know you have some thoughts about the hallway fight scene.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'll get into that.
Story-wise, of all the 3 Guardians, it makes sense that Gamora's there.
Yeah.
Story-wise for the movie, is like you said, I think Warlock should have been there.
Yeah. And for that hallway scene, there's a scene that you just brought up. Yeah. There was a scene.
It's toward the end of the movie when they're on the High Evolutionary ship.
And they had to fight through.
They had to fight through the regular guards, and like the abomination things that was on the ship. Yeah, because that was when Nebula was with them. They had to get there because once they got out of that, they were like, Nebula, you go drive the ship.
Oh yeah. They had to get.
You go get the kids out, and yeah.
Okay, so at that part, I kind of tuned out a little bit, and because it felt like it was too much action. And my thought during watch this was when I was watching, it kind of reminded me of watching John Wick 2. Because I'm like, okay, it's basically John Wick 2 is the John Wick I don't really like that much because it's just continuous action.
I like 1, 3, and 4 for John Wick. John Wick 2, it just got boring at a point.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay.
But to me, watching this, I was like, I like John Wick 2 more.
Oh, really?
No, not I like the movie more. I'm saying I didn't get bored of the action, really. There almost like there was more breaks.
Yeah.
But I had that same problem with Infinity Wars. There's a certain part of the Wakanda battle in Infinity Wars I get bored. And then right after that, it picks back up.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like those stick animations.
Yeah, they go too long.
Where it's like, this is really cool, but then it keeps going.
Like we did that
and I'm
already.
like, this is a 5-minute video of sticks fighting. I'm like, great animation, right? The people who draw those, you do a good job. But when I'm watching it as a consumer who's watching it, sometimes things go on too long. And, you know, if a fight needs to be 2 minutes, it needs to be 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But I don't see why a fight needs to be 5 minutes.
Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with the hallway fight.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It was cool, and I was thinking when I was watching, I was like, "Oh, this is a one shot."
That is cool.
This is a pretty cool one shot.
Yeah,
I like one shot fight scenes, like Daredevil. Daredevil's one shot fight scenes are phenomenal. I love Daredevil.
Not just that; it's the way they do it in a one shot, but it's like you can tell this dude's exhausted.
Yeah,
he hits a punch, sits down for a second, takes a breath, gets back up, hits the next guy.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
But you know, I really like one shot scenes. So it was really cool because it was a one shot. I really love one shot scenes. I think like what you're saying is basically like this one shot went on a little bit too long.
It's not that it went on too long. It was because it was just I felt that way when it first started. It first started and I was like, all right, cool. That's like 30 seconds. I was like, okay, I'm over this. Like I kind of tuned. It's not like I was thinking about something else. It was just like I'm tired of seeing them fight.
Yeah.
But also, it's a long movie. Yeah. So I was probably like, okay. But I didn't feel like that watching No Way Home.
Yeah.
This is the second Marvel movie I've only felt like that. So it's not like.
So what was the first one then?
The first where I felt like this?
Yeah.
It was Infinity Wars during the Wakanda battle where Wanda. I think it was that part where Wanda did that thing. It was during that battle. Yeah. I don't know what it was. Every time I watch it, it's that same part I get bored. And then like right after that picks back up. I don't know if it's the pacing or if it's just too much fighting or what. Yeah. But that's how that hallway fight scene felt. It's like at a certain point I just tuned out. And then like after the fight I tuned back in. Yeah. Like, I don't know what it was. But that's why I brought up John Wick because I'm like, well, it's continuous fighting. I didn't zone out when it was happening. But I mean, John Wick's more intense. Yeah. Maybe that's why. But it's just like I didn't tune out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just something I noticed when I was watching it.
Yeah. I really like Adam Warlock's suit at the beginning.
Yeah.
Kind of disappointed that he lost his cape. I was disappointed about that. And then after
you want him to get sucked into a tornado or a wind turbine? A wind turbine or a plane?
Yeah.
Thing?
Yeah.
No capes.
Yeah. And then he got the Guardian suit, and I was like,
but you didn't earn it. But you didn't earn it.
You know what? No. I was just thinking, why aren't you wearing your suit? Where's your suit?
Oh, with the armor stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Adam Warlock's suit.
I was kind of hoping when they blew up the ship, they would be like, yeah, we exploded the ship. And then they would hear something, they turn around, he walks out of the flames or something. That's what I was hoping they would do.
Yeah. And it's like you said, we're going to, we made an out of theater reaction. We'll check that out. But it's like what you said in there. It was like, this movie is similar to Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
It has to do too much.
Yeah.
But it's not in the same way. And you'll hear that when you hear our out of theater reaction. I don't want to this is the spoiler section, but I don't want to spoil the content we make. Yeah, but we'll show you guys that. But one thing about that we were talking about is like you have Wakanda Forever has to do too much. And what do we mean by that? Wakanda Forever. I think you talked. Did you talk about this in one of your reviews?
I don't remember talking about.
All right, so basically, what we were saying was what we agreed on is that Wakanda Forever basically had to set up Phase 4, 5, and 6. Had to set up Riri. Had to set up the It had to set up
Namor.
Namor. It had to set up Namor and his connection to Wakanda. It had to set up what's her name? I already said Riri, didn't I? It had to set up Shuri as Black Panther. It had to set up Martin Freeman's character. I can't think of his name.
Agent Cole. I don't know his name. Agent. His name is Agent.
Yeah, his name is Agent.
His name is Agent.
The one FBI dude that's working with in conjunction
Contessa?
with the one that was working with Contessa had to set up that he's a fugitive now. It had to set up the Marvel universe. This one I didn't feel like, and we agreed on it. It's like it did have to set up the Marvel universe, but it just had to set up a lot within its own movie.
Yeah,
it had to be introduced to Adam Warlock. We had to find out. It had to set up that Adam Warlock had a connection to what's his name? I can't think of his name. High Evolutionary, I think. And this is I know this is going to be a tangent, but one thing I did like about this movie is the flashbacks and when the flashbacks happen.
It's like they're walking around the corner when they're walking around the corner to see the High Evolutionary. And he just goes like this.
Yeah, and then
he just
flashback. You know, right?
Immediately.
And it's like I think the flashbacks were timed perfect. I think that the flashbacks were done beautifully. The flashbacks, it made us care about the characters, and this is a tangent from what I was going to talk about right now. But one thing I noticed is like the walrus. What was his name? Names are escaping me for some reason. But Floor the bunny and Teeth. Their designs are pretty like crazy and kind of nightmare fuel.
No, Brian. Sid created them.
Yeah.
Toy Story?
Sid. Yeah. Sid definitely. See, High Evolutionary is actually Sid.
Yeah.
See, that's the reason why he was visiting Earth. He's from Earth.
Yeah.
He went out to he became a trash man, then went out to space and decided, no, this is the alternate timeline. See, this is the reason why Kang is pruning timelines. Because he's like, oh, crap. I got to get rid of this Sid guy. Oh, crap. He's talking to Sid's parents. He's like, it's your kids, guys. Something's got to be done about your dang kids. Yeah, but it's interesting.
You said something about Kang with the evolutionary. Did you go into
that, you know, I think Kang no, because I was
we talked about that.
No, I was gonna say something. Their nightmare fuel. You said their Sid flashbacks. There we go. Flashback of a flashback about a flashback about flashbacks. And I know this is a different movie, but you know what thinking about it reminds me of?
What?
How this movie used flashbacks to basically to show us why any of this matters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is the dude who did this. Cool. We saw it, and then we see the other Guardians' reaction to this thing that they did.
Yeah.
But you know what movie didn't do that and would have been better for it? Peter Pan and Wendy. Peter Pan and Wendy. That movie would have been better if they had flashbacks. But this isn't a Peter Pan and Wendy review. This is a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 review. And Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did flashbacks amazingly. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. It said, Okay, man.
I think this movie would do well. It's not something where it's like, oh, I need to rush to the theater and see this again.
I think so.
Really?
I want to go see that again. I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Maybe if I saw it again, I'll have a different opinion. I don't know. Seeing it right now, I'm like, it's cool. 7 out of 10, but I don't need to go see it again.
Yeah.
Like, I think it'll make a lot of money though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think.
I think it would make a lot of money too.
I think their critic score is at an 80. I think the audience score will be at like a 75.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think that audience score might be at 85.
85? I would say, I don't know, I think
maybe 78 at the lowest.
78. I would say the highest.
Maybe 76, maybe. 76 at the lowest.
I would say the lowest is 7, no lower than 75, no higher than like
94 probably.
Yeah, no higher than 95. I kind of think the audiences are gonna like it more than the critics, personally. Yeah. Audiences, I'll say 90. 'Cause I think the audiences will like it more. I think a lot of people will go see it. Yeah. I think this will get like a 90. Let's see.
Yeah. Wait. So I can't remember. Ravagers are pirates, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because like they aborted the ship when they were about to go to that place. Like first shield down, second shield down. Oh, we're being boarded by the Ravagers. And I was just when they were during that scene, they were like, yeah, the sentries. We have to avoid the sentries. I'm like, okay, but you just showed us the sentries are orbiting around this thing, watching it. So they don't see this giant ship and other ships boarding it?
No. I think they just got through the barrier. They didn't get through the outer rings. I think, right?
It's just, for me, it was just difficult to understand.
Yeah, I was a little confused too.
How far away are these barriers from the main structure? And I was kind of hoping that was Ego. That, you know what I mean? Because I remember watching the trailers, I was like, High Evolutionary? That might be Ego.
That would be cool.
That would have been cool. It's not bad. It's just different expectation. I had an expectation that didn't meet it. Didn't make it bad.
Only real problem with this movie are the jokes and Warlock.
Yeah.
My main issues. Other than that, I don't have any real problems.
Yeah.
I think some action scenes I kind of tuned out. Because it was just, like I said, I think it was just went on too long. I don't know what it was. It's still a cool sequence, but it doesn't really affect the score of it. It's still good. I would still recommend it. I think you'll like it more if you see Guardians 1, 2, Infinity Wars, and Endgame, and then 3.
I like how it felt like a Rocket movie.
Yeah.
And that's not even a bad thing. Yeah. I liked it. Because who's the first character we see? First opening thing, we see Rocket as a baby.
That was crazy.
Yeah, the hand, and then the music just starts playing, and who do we see? Rocket as a grown-up.
Yeah. That was cool how it zoomed in and like aged.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the better looking Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Looks great.
I thought they were all going to make it. Teeth, Floor, and Lydia.
Too.
I thought they were all going to make it.
I thought they were going to run into each other later on.
Yeah.
When I was like, dang, what? He killed them? They killed them?
Yeah, like when Lydia, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, okay, I don't have to worry because she's going to come in later. And then she died. And I was like, what? I was like, wait a minute, you can't die here because then Rocket can't run into you later on. And then there's that, at that moment, I was like, he's not going to run into her later on. And then like when he shot all the guards and he looked back and Floor,
I was like,
oh man. It reminds me, but cause like that's what I was trying to say. It was weird. I didn't understand what Floor was saying when he walked out and High Evolutionary had killed Lydia. What was Floor saying?
I had no idea.
It was like, Floor go back in or something like that. I couldn't understand what Floor was saying.
I think I may have to watch it again, but I think it's kind of interesting. he had his tragic backstory, right?
Mhm.
And if you think about the first Guardians, he was like, "Who cares if Thanos gets the stones? Let's just snap them all away."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that can be kind of interesting. I can't
Yeah.
remember the context of the situation.
Yeah.
but if that could be interesting if that's one of the reasons he was saying that, because it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
At this point right now, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Just snap them away.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's interesting, like when you go back to the first one, when they're at the bar and they're drunk,
Yeah.
and he's like, I didn't ask to be ripped apart and stitched back together again over and over again. And now we see that. And it's like, oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was crazy. He was like, oh, did you think you were going to go? You think you were going to go to the city? He was like, how can you figure out complex equations and didn't figure that out? You know, it was crazy. It was crazy when he was like, P17, he grabbed him by the collar, dragging him, throwing him around the room. You cracked it. Like, dude, you could have just said, hey, homie, good job. Not remember when he was like, oh, well, the reason why this isn't working is because you're doing this. He had a chum his thumb moment. He was like, oh, wait, what? How are we getting customers? Chum is thumb. Huh. But yeah, I just think that I forgot what I was saying. I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
You're talking about.
Oh yeah. I was just like, yo, dude, why you have to throw me across the room? Why you dragging me across like like I'm a dog or something? And like when he was like, we'll all fly away together into the forever. And I was like, dang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man. And then like, I think the parts that were most emotional for me was at the end when Nebula found out that Rocket was alive. I think that was the most emotional part for me.
Yeah, that was a good part.
I think that's one of the most, I can't remember exactly, there was another scene, but it was like when they found out someone was okay, that was more, to me, that I felt more emotional than when they were questioning whether that person was not okay. Yeah. But you know what I thought was really cool? Was that Rocket freed all the animals.
Yeah.
Because he looked and he was like, he saw it. He saw the raccoons and he was like, this was me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I saw that scene.
You know, and like I said, I love the scene. I think it's a good movie. You know what would have been really cool?
What?
If we see from inside the cage, we see Rocket reach his hand in.
That would have been cool.
That would have been an amazing parallel where the beginning we see the hand that basically causes destruction, but now we see a hand that causes rescue.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. That would have been awesome. Like, it was an awesome scene, but it you know what I mean? It's great. It could be awesome. You know what I mean?
This is good, but it could be better.
It could be better.
It's still great though.
Yeah. I thought it was a good send off. Okay, let's talk about the after credit scene.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about you guys, but when I was watching it, Peter Quill, when he's with his grandfather, he's eating his cereal. Did it glitch for anyone else? Yeah. Right? I was watching it and it glitched and I was thinking, what's going on with this? And then, you think you pointed out.
Yeah, it was almost like a TV.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like a TV glitch.
And I was thinking, first thing that came to my mind when he said that, I was like regular show. If you guys don't know, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen all, 10 seasons?
I think it's 8 seasons.
I thought it was, no, I'm thinking of Adventure Time. It probably is 8 seasons. Okay. If you haven't seen all these 8 seasons of regular show, this is spoiler. Basically, at the end of for those you remember, regular show, it ended with Pops basically in heaven, and he pulls out the tape, the VHS tape called Regular Show. And we find out that the whole show, all of Regular Show, was just Pops watching everything happen again. He was just watching it like on a TV. And so when Jason said that, I was like Pops and Regular Show. But then I thought about it more and I was like Kang in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And that's why I say you guys need to watch Earth's Mightiest Heroes, because it's some of the best Avengers content, best Avengers anything.
Tony, what are you doing? Iron Man.
T'Challa.
T'Challa. What are you doing? Iron Man. He's cloaked in the corner. Tony.
Like, it's an amazing show. Go watch it. Because when you watch it and you see the villains and you're like, he's that guy. He's him. You know what I mean? So I was thinking, when Kang shows up, if I remember correctly, the episodes,
Earth's Mightiest
Heroes, with the Kang episodes, they start, Kang is watching the Avengers, watching this. He's like, okay, go back 5 years. And he's like, because he's watching Captain America. He's watching Captain America during World War II. Mm-hmm. And you see him like walking through it. He's like, okay, fast forward. And then he's like, okay, there's something not right here and I can trace it back to this time. And I just say that just to explain what happened. But basically, like, Kang was watching everything play out in Earth's Mightiest Heroes to see what was going on. And I think that's what he was doing here. And if that glitch wasn't just our theater, because we've had a theater we went to with Shazam, and we didn't see the after credit scene for the first Shazam because the movie blacked out. Remember that?
Did it?
Yeah. Not Fear of Gods. It was the first Shazam.
I don't remember there being a...
Because, what's the main villain of Shazam? Mm-hmm. He was put in jail, and that's when the Caterpillar first came to him. And he was like, well, we can work together. The screen just shut off. Oh, and wow. we didn't see the after credit scene of the first Shazam. Like, I know what it is now. I know, like, I haven't seen the movie in a while, but you know what I mean? So I'm not sure if is it just this theater that was glitching, and I'm assuming it's not. I think this is Kang watching everything play out. And this was a glitch in his system.
Yeah. That would be really cool if we found out for all of Phase 4, it was just Kang watching the universes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, Kang has time manipulation tech, like the rings, like, and then he has the powers like, evolutionary, the high evolutionary.
Yeah, because
blow the dude. He did the explosion thing. Yeah,
because when all the people towards the end of the movie, when all the people are like, when the lady's like, I'm taking command over this ship. When high evolutionary ship was blowing up, and he's like, I'm taking control of this ship. And then you had, when he said, I'm taking control of this ship, what ended up happening was high evolutionary let out this like energy blast or whatever. And I was thinking as I was watching, I was like, that's what Kang did multiple times in Quantumania. He did that multiple times in Quantumania. So, I'm like, interesting. I think, and what I was thinking is, what if Kang watched through time and he's like, oh, that's a cool idea. I'm going to take that. Don't mind if I do.
High evolutionary sat there. He was like, you see the people doing stuff. He said, this is a sickness at the highest.
yeah.
This is what's wrong with the modern world.
Yeah. It is a sickness. Dude, that's what he said when he was like, when he looked at batch 89, he was like, oh, we're gonna go to the city, right? He was like, what? You are a sickness of the highest order. My new world. In my new world, you are a sickness. You are deviants. And therefore, we do not want you. Eh? Incinerate them all.
Okay.
Okay. I really like the movie. I think, like, I do have some problems with it, but that doesn't make me like the movie any less. It's just I think it's like you said, a 7-8.
Yeah.
And I think this would have made it 0.5, gave it 0.51 more point. You get what I mean? Because if that parallel with the hand, that would have been an amazing parallel. I probably would have gave this movie an 11 out of 10 if it had that hand parallel. But I really liked how like there was like no music in that part, where it's just like you just hear click, 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 and then all the raccoons are like, oh crap.
No, sir. He's back.
Yeah.
He's back. Who? Where?
Rocket was like, oh, like when Rocket was in like that white space, and he was like, oh, can I go?
Yeah.
He was like, can I come too? I thought that part was cool. When it's like, oh, Lydia? It's like, we were gonna fly away together. It's like, oh yeah, me and our friends, we've been flying.
Yeah.
And like you turn around and you see Tooth and Floor, and it's like, dang. You know what I mean? It's like, can I come? It's like, yeah, but not yet. You still have something to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang. that's sad.
Yeah.
But when she was saying like, there are the hands that built us, there's the hands that made us, and then there's hands guiding those hands. I was like, well, you're either talking about two things. You're either talking about the one above all, or you're talking about Kang. Because, like, for some reason, when that scene was playing out, she was like, there's hands that created you, and then there's hands that guide those hands. I was like, is Rocket going to turn around and see the one above all? Is the one above all just going to be sitting there like, oh, hey. you know what I mean?
Beyond it just shows up.
Yeah. Are you talking to me from beyond the beyond?
And Rocket's like, evolutionary? Yeah, the high evolutionary. Who wanted to test on me when I was a kid?
What?
Rocket is like, because they're like, oh, it's the evolutionary. Rocket's like, yeah, that's right. The high evolutionary. The one that tested on me when I was a kid.
What's that from?
SpongeBob. The coming flat back. The one that used to beat me up when I was a
kid. Yeah. Yeah. Probably make another video if we think of anything else. I really liked the movie. I think it had a lot of emotional parts. I think it had a lot of funny parts. Seeing Nathan Fillion in the movie cracked me up, because I just wasn't expecting him. And I saw him. He was like, oh, this is the boss's nephew. He was like, oh yeah, I got one of those too. I was like, I just cracked up. That was funny. Oh yeah, I got one of those too. Yeah, that was good. But like when Gamora was like, she was like, yo guys, I'm ready to go. I'll send you my coordinates. And then the gold lady, Adam Warlock's mom, is like, oh yeah, we'll come pick you up. And I'm like, I was just thinking, Gamora, that doesn't sound like the guy who's on the comms. You know what I mean? Like, did they not tell you who was gonna be?
Well, remember, she probably doesn't really know who these people are.
She doesn't know the Ravagers?
No, the gold people.
She doesn't have to know what the gold people are.
Oh yeah, I guess
she should know her team.
She's probably not paying attention.
Because when I was thinking, I was like, she didn't even try to disguise her voice. She just was talking normal. The guy was talking like, yo. And the Adam Warlock's mom was like, yeah, so, well, yeah, we'll go pick you up. It's like, this is a British lady. How'd you mix that up with an alien guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think there should have been more with the lady, the gold lady, Adam Warlock's mom, and Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
Like when Adam Warlock was like, when he was like, when the pig thing at the end was like, hey, we're on the same side. And then he was like, yeah, I know, but I need to bring this guy to my boss so I can get credit.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Thanks guys for watching. Do you agree with us? Disagree? What do you guys rate it? Jason said, well, you want to see the score again?
7 out of 10.
He said 7 out of 10. I think I'm probably like 7.5, maybe 7.5. Yeah, I think I really like the movie. It was fun. It was emotional. You guys agree with us? Don't agree with us? What's your rating for the movie? What did you think?
Not a huge fan of the Guardians team and the mid credit, but
oh yeah, that's another thing.
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that team.
Who is this girl? Like, are they gonna? I hope they explain that who the girl is. But anyway, I guess that would be for another video. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments. And yeah, peace.